conservative train.
I want to jump to the next story in the saga. We have this from the Post-Millennial. Harvard students erect anti-Israel liberated Gaza camp on campus. The story here is actually the video, which I think is really interesting. Take a look at this. Let's see if we can make it a little clearer. Running full speed.
Wow.
Quickly, as fast as they can, trying to set up tents.
The craziest camp out.
Yep.
Where is this?
It's Harvard.
Oh my gosh.
The more media coverage there is of this, the more it will spread to other parts of the country. But I also want to show you this, and this gets into, this image, I think, gets into the heart of what we're seeing here and why they're doing what they're doing. Ali London says Palestinian activist appears to realize she has made a big mistake as she verges close to tears as Texas police handcuff her. Take a look at this young college student. I don't know how old she is, maybe college student.
Super young.
Super young, and she looks very distressed as she's being arrested. She has no idea what she's protesting. She's only heard surface level things. She is now being arrested, and the response from conservatives and the police is exactly what the cult was hoping for. And I will explain very simply. She is now angry and scared, not understanding why she's being arrested or what she did wrong. She was told that she was fighting for the good guys. The police came and arrested her. Well, how can that be? She's a good guy. Well, it's because the police must be bad guys, right? With that fear and anger, when she gets out of jail, and she will overnight, and it'll be a slap on the wrist, they will then go to her, and not only will they say, see, look what the police do. The police are bad. You didn't even do anything wrong. You're fighting for justice. Aren't the police evil? They'll direct her fear and anger, which they instigated, into her siding with them once more. And then they will start to show her all of the posts from people on the right insulting her and laughing at her for being scared and crying, acting as though she had any idea what was going on. And they'll say, see, look how evil the right is. They're making fun of you while you were doing the right thing. That is how the cult recruits. So when they're storming campus, when you look at the comparison between the Summer of Love, Black Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, and the anti-Israel stuff, and you're like, wow, it sure is very similar, it's all just cult building. There's no moral issue they care about. There's a funny meme I saw where it's, you know the meme of the military guy putting his arms out, protecting the kid? It's the military guy going like this, and it's like protesters, and then the kid in the bed says the Middle East, and the bombs and the knives are still falling on the kid because the guy's nowhere near the kid. And that's a good point. And then you wonder, what are they doing? What is their goal? Their goal is to recruit people into their cult who view this country as morally corrupt and evil and wrong. That woman will now become an anti-police activist more so than she really was or ever was. We've acknowledged on this show that most of these people have no idea what they're protesting. We then see a woman like this getting arrested who's scared and has no idea what's going on. The response should be not to make fun of her, but to be like, these people are tricking you to get you arrested, to make you angry, to entrench you in a world that will cause you harm. We don't want that for you. I don't think we on this show are influential nearly enough to actually have that message for someone like her, but maybe those who listen might realize this, because I got to tell you, even Ali London saying she appears to realize she made a big mistake as she verges close to tears. Even that, like, imagine you are walking down the street and some guy says, hey, do you want to march for freedom? And you go, yeah, and you start marching down the street. Next thing you know, you're getting arrested and you're freaking out. And all of these people are now laughing at you and pointing their fingers at you. You'd be mad at them. You'd be stressed. You'd be scared. You'd be like, why are they attacking me? Why are they insulting me? That's how they make the cult bigger.
Yeah, well, remember with Kyle Rittenhouse, that happened about a year or two after I got canceled in the New York Times. So I wasn't political. And then I just started watching that though. And it's that's kind of what got me to change my beliefs and be like, this is kind of more important to be, leaning on the right, because I saw how they twisted that story. And a lot of people probably went the other way, right? When they first saw all the news about the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff and how he killed these people that were peacefully protesting, or I don't know, what the whole narrative was, but I think a lot of people probably got on the other side similarly.
There were influencers that I knew of because of non-political, like lifestyle or whatever content, who when the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict came out, they were like, nobody talked to me about this. He killed innocent black people and this and the other, which is like not true. That's not what happened.
I watched every day of the trial because that is real news, right? That's a real trial that's happening. Nobody can twist the narrative, and you could watch the lawyers discussing it.
There were people who had an emotional reaction to the story and then closed their ears to any of the details, right? They already knew how they were going to feel about it because of a false narrative. It's hard to comment on this picture because, I don't know the video or what else is going on there, but I do think that there are people who will say, like, this just makes me want to double down more. Like, I will just become even more disenfranchised, and it will drive a certain level of like, well, I got arrested at this protest, so now I should do something even bigger because, this confirms my suspicion that the cops are bad and whatever else.
This is a known tactic for anybody who's been to the, what do they call them? Excuse me, direct action meetings. They have described in the past as like 3 different tiers. The direct action activists will meet in secret, and it'll be like 5 or 6 people that are organizing the protest. And they intentionally will be like, no one can know what we talk about, don't bring your phone. What they want is, they're the instigators. Well, the organizers and the instigators, they want as many young, dumb college kids to form the mass of the protest. They need critical mass. Then they have people who directly instigate, and then they're the ones who are orchestrating everything behind the scenes. The goal being, their friends who are given the instructions will throw things at cops. They'll wait for the normies who are like, yay, I'm marching, to be in a situation where the cops are agitated. They will then walk into the middle of the crowd, crouch down, and throw a water bottle high up in the air so that it lands on a cop. The cops then say, okay, illegal assembly, disperse or you're under arrest. And then these dumb college kids who have no idea what's going on find themselves being shoved, being hit. It's panic and chaos. Then there's a mass arrest. And then while they're in jail, freaking out, being like, what am I gonna do? My parents are gonna be so mad. The cultists who organize it are there and they say, let's sing songs together to get through this. So they do, I'm not kidding. In jail, when there's 50 to 100 people, they'll say, hey everyone, sing along.
Building a community.
Yep, building a connection. Then when these young people are like freaking out and crying, and mostly younger women, they're hugging them and saying, take my number, call me if you need anything, you should totally hang out with us, we're gonna make sure you're okay, now we'll sing songs.
Makes sense.
And then after this, they get out and they say, see, we were the good guys the whole time, we kept you safe. Yeah. Even though they were the ones who orchestrated the arrest intentionally to cause panic in these young people. Now, I want to say, for all I know, this chick punched a cop. I have no idea. You know what I mean? I don't know what she's being arrested for. I'm just saying.
It's easy to manipulate people that don't have the experience or the background to also see how this is going to affect them in the future. Like when you're young, you think that you're the best, that nothing could happen to you. You could be reckless. And then when you realize that there's consequences to these things, you obviously are wanting the support group, right? You want to lean towards anybody that's willing to help you. So I could see that.
I think it's in part because activism became sort of glamorized, especially over the last couple of years. There was a level of being able to say, like, I went out and I think about what was the Women's March after Trump was inaugurated, and they were like, I can't tell you how many girls I knew were like, and this is we stayed up all night making posters, like, check it out. Like, it became sort of this trendy thing to do, but there are very serious consequences to going to protests, especially when you don't actually know everyone who's involved in this and what their intentions are. And that's one of the problems with it happening on a university campus. I mean, if you're in college, you're probably over 18, you're an adult, so you're responsible for your actions. It is interesting that generally we're all acknowledging that this is something they're doing because it's like, oh, well, everyone else I know is going to this thing. Right. I don't know how many of them are actually super rabidly dedicated to the cause.
Yeah, do you guys, is there a cause that has ever made you want to go protest or want in your lifetime?
War. But I don't think it's effective. I think it's meaningless and I think it's manipulative. So I was protesting in the 2000s when I was a teenager. And then, of course, they're like, the answer is Obama. He's going to change everything. He just blew up kids, so.
What about you? Is there?
No, I don't. There hasn't been anything. And I mean, like I said, I'm sort of new into like even caring, which is, I'm not proud of that, but at least at least now I'm like being awakened. You know, we were talking about the red pill term. I think it's taken a different meaning now, but in terms of, you know, just kind of being awakened to how things really work, it's partially because of what happened to me. And I'm like, oh, this is how the New York Times operates. This is how America operates. I mean, when I was